Hi, my name is Amanda. Welcome to my channel. I have not done a book video, wrap-up video in a couple of months because I have been in a book slump. Book slumps are the worst. And the thing about it is I will pick up a good book. I'll have no issues with it, but I just don't want to go back to it and read. I don't know what my problem is. I have read, just not as, 20 books like I'm kind of used to in the past 6 months or so. I don't know if it's just because of all the readathons that I'm doing. I don't know, but I even took a break from readathons and it was the same thing. I didn't go to a book or anything like that, so it's a book slump. But I do have some books that I want to go ahead and talk to you guys about. So I'm going to talk to you about the good, the bad, and the ugly. So the first two books that I want to talk about is the Game of Thrones. And you guys know the series, and I'm sure you guys know about these huge books. I did read these, and I also listened to them on audio, so I kind of went back and forth. The first one is absolutely amazing. I love this one. This one, A Clash of Kings, it was very slow paced. I'm not a big fan of this one, but this one definitely. And all I can tell you is this. I am a huge fan of the show, so I highly recommend that you watch the show and then read the books. Because if you read the books first, you're going to be so confused with so many characters. There are so many characters that are introduced and constantly being introduced, but these are good. These are really, really good. So if you have Game of Thrones and you are watching the show, do not be intimidated by this. This is really, really good. Now, I do want to talk about another book. It's my first graphic novel that I've ever read. I'm not a fan of this series. I've read the books and I've watched the movies, and I'm just not a fan. However, whenever I was in Florida earlier this year, there was a bookstore. And of course, I had to go ahead and pick this up. This one it was fairly inexpensive, so I had to pick it up. And this is Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. So this right here is so beautiful. I absolutely love this. This is, like I said, this is my first graphic novel, and it was such a quick read. I am certainly interested in more graphic novels. I'm shocked that this is my first one. Go figure. I'm still not a fan of the series, but I would not be against reading more in this series in this format. This was really nice, and I ended up reading this because of a readathon. Go figure, right? In fact, it's readathon that is going on in the month of November, which I'm still working on. There's still a couple days left, so I'll be able to read some more. Now, another book that I want to talk to you about, and it is my current read that I plan on actually finishing today, and this is Hocus Pocus and the all-new sequel. Now, my friend Brandy, she went ahead and got this for me for my birthday, and I'm so excited. I love Hocus Pocus. If you know me at all, I am almost as big a fan of Hocus Pocus as I am of Harry Potter. This is something that I watch every single Halloween, and it's absolutely fantastic. The one thing that I will say though is the first 200 pages is exactly like the movie. And I was wondering, why aren't they changing anything? And then I realized Hocus Pocus and the all-new sequel. And the sequel, after the first 200 pages or so, you go into part 2, and it is 25 years later, and you have Max and Allison's daughter. And they are pretty much against Halloween. They don't want her to go ahead and go to the Sandersons' house. They don't want her to do anything at all. And there's only a couple people in her life that knows everything that happened 25 years beforehand, and Poppy is her name, she's not sure if she believes her parents or not, and her Aunt Danny. So it follows basically on Halloween. Her parents decide, you know what, we're going to go ahead and throw a party. But they decided to throw a party because it is the blood moon. And so they want to make sure that everybody is basically they could see everybody, and also they still are looking for Winifred's spell book. And they have no idea where it is because you know that it disappeared at the end of the movie. So they don't know where it is. So Poppy and her friends decides that's a really good idea. Gee, I'm going to go ahead and do the one thing my parents don't want me to do, and we're going to go ahead and get into the Sandersons' house. So they go ahead and they take the keys because her parents are, they go ahead, they look over the house and everything, so they're in charge of it. So they take their keys and they go ahead and go into the Sandersons' house, and they decide to go ahead and do a Ouija board, and it goes downhill from there. So I'm not exactly sure how I feel about this yet. Right now, I would probably give it 3 stars. There are some issues that I have. I think that there are things in here that just could have been left out. I certainly think the first 200 pages could be left out because people that are going to buy this book already knows the story. So I think that it was kind of like a waste of space to read the first, waste of time to read the first 200 pages. But that's just me. That's just me. I mean, you know. And of course, one thing that I did decide to finally read, I actually listened to this on audio, and it was Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone by Jim Dale. Jim Dale was the narrator, and this is the first time that I reread that since I read it the first time, and I have to say the audiobook is phenomenal. I read that with my friend Brandy, and there's so many things that I just completely forgot about, and it was perfect because I went to see the Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald. So it was perfect because there were things that I remembered that kind of just coincided with the Sorcerer's Stone, and it was just great. And along with that, I also managed to read some of the Dresden Files, so I'm kind of catching up on that one because I'm so far behind on that series. I still have, I think, 5 or 6 more to go, something like that. So whenever I'm done with the series, I think what I'm going to do, if you guys are interested, I'm going to go ahead and do a full in-depth review on the Dresden Files. But I will have to say it's getting kind of repetitive at this point. So I'm hoping something's going to happen. I know that I'm expecting something to happen because I already know one thing that's going to happen. So I'm just kind of waiting for it. So I guess we'll see. Let me look at my handy dandy Goodreads to see what else I read. One thing that I will tell you is I read The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill. That book was probably the worst book that I read in the past couple of months. It was terrible. It was terrible. I read it for a readathon, and I noticed that a lot of people didn't like it at all. So, I mean, I don't know. I had a lot of problems with this. It was supposed to be middle grade, and I don't see how. First of all, it was too long to be middle grade, and the wording in it was just, I don't see that as middle grade, and the story just was just bad. However, on the flip side of it, I did finally get a chance to read The Wicked Deep by Shay Earnshaw, and I love that book so much. So believe the hype on that one. Believe the hype on that one. That one was really good. I gave that one 4 stars. Just really, really good. And I ended up reading it because I know that it's coming on Netflix. So I'm excited for that one. Let's see. What else is there? I mean, there's a few other books. I did finally finish The Vampire Academy. The last book was The Last Sacrifice, and it was by Rochelle Mead. And I gave that one 5 stars. However, the more I think about it, I'm thinking 4 stars because I'm disgruntled. I'm disgruntled because of the ending. I don't think that with the way that the relationship, no spoilers, but with who she ended up with, I'm not exactly sure that that's how I wanted it to go. I don't know. I'm torn on if that is how I wanted it to go. I really am. So if you've read it, leave it in the comments below and tell me what you think about who she ended up with, because I'm curious. I'm curious if I'm the only one that's maybe just a little bit disgruntled. Just a little bit. Okay, and I believe that is all the books that I read. No, it's not. I read a couple of women's literature book. I did read The Husband's Secret by Leanne Moriarty, and that one was alright. I gave it 4 stars though, but I think I would go pretty much to, no, probably 3.5 stars with that one. That, as far as women's lit goes, that wasn't too bad. That wasn't too bad. Once you find out what The Husband's Secret is, it's pretty fast paced, and you see how it kind of just affects everybody, and so that was really, really good. And that book was a book of the month that Brandy and I do on our lives, that we either do it on my channel or her channel every Thursday, or every Thursday that we possibly can. And so there's always a book to read. Let's see, what else is there? That's pretty much all that is worth talking about. So, sorry guys that I have not been uploading book videos, but I am back on track now, I think. And even if I'm in a book slump, I'm going to go ahead and read only one book. I'm going to come here and I'm going to talk to you guys about it, because I love making these videos. I love making book videos. So, just books and makeup. It's my thing. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye!